Hey students, as promised, I'm gonna go ahead and do this video for you guys. I'm gonna show you guys how to onboard and process the clients from start to finish to their update and what documents they need before you send any letter off. Also, we were gonna be going over the FTC method. If your clients have identity theft problems, I'm gonna show you how to do the FTC method. As well, we're gonna go over the CFPB, which is the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, which is like the big brother and big sister out here, dealing with consumers, protecting all things consumer. We're gonna go over the BBB as well as which is the Better Business Bureau, how you can use those guys to get items deleted, and also you can use the Attorney General. All right, you guys. So typically, when it comes down to my process and how everything works, how everything is automated within my company. So once somebody sign up on my calendar, my Acuity link, I don't have calendar, it's Acuity. So once a client sign up on my lead rather sign up on my Acuity link, it directly imports into Credit Repair Cloud. Right here, where you see this little icon, where you see 747. So right now, I have 747 leads piled up in here that I can reach out anytime, or they should be coming up to be scheduled for a consultation to see if they are a good fit for our company. So we need you to go ahead and get your Acuity scheduling set up as quick as possible so you won't be scrambled all over the place trying to call people at random times versus letting them book on their own, and then you able to just reach out your team, or you able to reach out to them on their scheduled time. All right, so but if you are getting a client, if you are reaching out to a client, they haven't signed up on your schedule or anything yet, you just reached out to them, they wanted to inquire about your services, all you have to go to is add a new client. So you go to add a new client in your Credit Repair Cloud, you will type in their name. I'm gonna just type in Jane, last name Doe. You want to type in their email address. So finishing the email, just put in the sample, gmail.com. All right, so if your client don't have an email, then you can click this, but they are not going to have a client portal, or most likely if they don't have an email address. All right, last four, date of birth. You can put in their mobile phone number. All right, make sure you enter the right mailing address, the address that they are currently at, and want to get the mail, the correspondence back from the credit reporting agencies or the debt collectors. Make sure everything add up. All right, next you will want to you would go ahead and assign them to whoever you want to assign them to. But on this step, when my team is doing this, they do not assign the new people to anybody yet, because I have my VAs and stuff in here, right? So typically, they do not assign no VAs to the new clients yet that's on board, because typically what happened is once my team sign these new leads up to become clients, we onboard them first. So we get them time to send in their ID, proof of address, social security card, and everything. And then once they done onboard and everything are legitimate, then of course we tag them over to a VA to start working. All right. So the client status is going to change. So it's going to change to onboarding. So you need to change your statuses inside your Credit Repair Cloud if you are using Credit Repair Cloud. See, in my system, we have suspended, we have ID issue, monitoring issue, due for next round, in dispute, ready for processing, onboarding, ready to be processed immediately, in dispute, CYLLC. I use that one when I'm personally working on a client. So my onboarding team will go in and put it on board. So that client will know once that client log into their client portal, they'll know that they are on board. And then once the status change, like once they go over to the VAs will know to work on them because we will change to ready for process. All right. So once the VAs get these clients and process them, then the status changes to in dispute. All right. So if we get a client, if they on a payment plan and they missing a payment, once the VA update them in their 30-day update, if they ain't paid yet, they'll go to due for next round. They'll let me know something going on. If you due for next round, something is going on because normally my VAs go ahead and process the client soon as they update them. All right, so we're gonna go back to onboarding because this client will be onboarding. We'll go ahead and turn the portal access on. And once you turn the portal access on, you can go ahead and tag the client agreement. All right, so let's say for instance, if this client, because I got a whole lot of plans, let's say for instance, this client is out of state, so they got public records, and my fee for that is $17.50. All right, so we'll click the $17.50 agreement. I'll make sure the email address is pretty good. The language you can change to Spanish or English, so it's gonna be English. And then we're gonna go down and select the plan for the client. So right here, I got the Charge B system because I've been with Credit Repair Cloud since 2019. So they was using Charge B then, but now they don't use Charge B. They use Charge B. They use Billsby now, but they do have tutorials inside Credit Repair Cloud so you can get your Billsby set up. All right. So in order to use this feature, like the payment feature up under the client profile, you have to have a merchant account. So you'll have to have a merchant account, connect your merchant account to your Billsby now is what it is, and then you can be able to process clients on one-time payments, or you can do recurring. So that's the reason why they make you get Billsby, and mine is Charge B though. All right, so for instance, the client got the $17.50 one-time fee agreement, and now we got to go ahead and get the $17.50 plan so they can pay. All right, so I got both plans. So I set it up where they can do a split pay, half up front, half 30 days later, and I got where they can do one-time fee $17.50. So we'll click that. And then over the phone also, if the client comfortable, we'll say, okay, what's your card number? What's the CVV? What's the expiration date? And then we'll ask them what's the billing address if it's different than the one on file. But if it's not different than the one on file, we just won't worry about it and we'll be good to go. All right. And then we'll hit submit and it should take the payment right then and there. And it'll show you if it went through or not. All right. So if the client not comfortable with you, taking the card over the phone, all you have to do is hit send automated email to client requesting card information. So my team do this a lot because a lot of people are not comfortable with giving you their card information online, and sometimes my team go ahead and enter in, and people be comfortable because people know my company is already solid, and we have a lot of good reputation going around. So if you have to hit send automated, it'll send it to their email, and they can go ahead and pay right then and there. All right, so you'll hit submit. It's saying enter card number. So I'm not gonna even do that. So I'm gonna just go to select. This is just an example, and it said that because it wanted me to enter a card number because I selected a plan. All right, so if you don't select no plan, you just go ahead and hit submit. So let's say, for instance, if you didn't set your merchant account up yet with your Billsby. So once you hit submit on the client, and then let's say for instance, some of you guys probably still taking Cash App, Zelle, and all that, but we don't recommend that. We want your business to be set up properly, and we wanted to run on run on automatic. We wanted to run like that, real smooth. So like I said, you would need that merchant account. But starting off at the time when I did start off, I was using like Cash App, Zelle. I was sending invoices with Square, Stripe, and stuff like that. So like I said, if that's your method right now, up until you get set up, so be it. All right. So if that client pays successfully, it's gonna show it right now here in the balance. It's gonna show the total invoice received, outstanding, past due, whatever. All right. So it's gonna show whatever you charge that client. All right, then next, once you hit submit, the client gonna get an email, and the email gonna say, okay, upload your ID, proof of address, upload your social security card, and so forth and so on. It's gonna get them the portal where they have a whole checklist. So what my team do? My team come back in here in 24 hours and make sure everything uploaded. If everything not uploaded in 24 hours, of course we're gonna reach out to them until we able to get that information uploaded. All right. So you want to make sure first they sign their client agreement. You want to make sure that checked off. All right. A photo ID. So for instance, let me see. I'm gonna go to the photo ID. All right. So the photo ID. So the photo ID should be it should have the client updated information that they want to use for the address for the correspondence, and it can't be outdated. It has to be in date. It can't be outdated at all. So you'll make sure the client ID in there, like this just a sample ID. Bam. So the client will typically do this on the back end. They'll upload their ID. The client will upload a proof of address. The proof of address needs to be dated within the last 60 days. It needs to be a utility bill. It can be a cell phone bill, car insurance, health insurance, things of that nature. All right, so it needs to be updated as well. And then the third thing that your client need to upload is the Social Security card. But for the Social Security card, on your consultation, you need to tell the client to send a Social Security card directly to the person inbox who's working on their credit. All right, and that person will get it from their inbox, which is the messages right here, and they're uploaded because we're gonna need that full social when we're doing these security freezes and everything. All right, so once you do all that, you get that Social Security card in there and everything, and that client pretty much are ready to go for the document side. So all the documents in now, all the documents in. All right, next thing, you want to make sure they got their Identity IQ set up. If you got Identity IQ or Smart Credit, whatever you got that's integrated, you want to make sure that's set up. So you're going to go to one-click import and audit. And once you go to one-click import and audit, you're going to go to the service provider, but it should pop up as Identity IQ. Their username should be in, their password, phone number, social, last four social, and then you hit import and run. And once you hit import and run, you should be good to go. So the onboarding should be complete once you hit the import and run. So the onboarding process should be done for your person who's onboarding that client, right? All right. So I'm gonna go to another sample client real quick, and I'm gonna show you how it should look when you pull up your import. All right. So this is the sample client, you guys. That CRC already have in their system for people like me who's teaching classes. All right, so once the onboarding done with the documents, client agreement signed and everything, the client purchased their Identity IQ through your link on the sign in checklist and everything like that. Then of course when the account goes to your VAs, it should say ready for processing. You should tag them ready for processing, right? Because if you want to do it, if that's your model. But I see a lot of people just leave them as client and the VAs be lost. So with me, to make my process more smooth, I created status codes. All right, so this should say ready for processing now. Your VA is ready to work, or you ready to work, and you had something to do, and then you fail to list the client as ready for processing, so you can know that the client ready for processing. All right, so you go to one-click import and audit. All right, you go to re-import, and it may show the full credit report instead of the audit, but I'm gonna show you how to get the audit as well. Yeah, so all right, this is the full credit report. So this after you update the client every round. All right, so I'm gonna just go here, and we're gonna simply go to import and audit before we even go here. All right, so you go to import and audit. So typically, once you hit that import button, this audit will come up like this. All right, so I'm going to create this general audit. All right, so typically this is what will come up. Your VAs will see this. Your VA will see this. So immediately once this come up, I tell my VAs to go ahead and send the client their audit, because on my contract, as you guys seen on my contract, it states that as soon as we give you your audit, that is what you paid for. As soon as we give you your audit, that is what you paid for, especially we doing a one-time fee. So you can dodge all those chargebacks. So you want to go ahead and email that to the client, email the audit. Once you email the audit to the client, It's gonna let let you know that you did that. And all you gotta do is scroll down the list. All right, you can read this if you want to. I used to read this to clients until I got, real comfortable with talking to clients. So I just go to the key parts. I just go to the education part. Basically tell them what makes up a credit score, and all that good stuff. That's typically if we was doing a consultation on the front end. But the back end, you can just you don't have to worry about that. Just look through it. Your VA is gonna just look through it. Um, they're gonna go down to the negative item section, see what they're dealing with. So I know that once I pull up this audit, this client dealing with million funding, U.S. Department of Vets, First Premier, Heights Financial, First Premier Bank, charge off, collection, write off. So it's telling you everything wrong with this account. And it's telling you when was this account added, what year and the month the account was added as well. So of course, if some on your report from 708, 07, if it's a charge off, of course it's been 7 years later, then it's supposed to come off anyway. All right, you'll be able to go down to the public record. See this client right here. If this was a public record will not say Midland Funded. It's just an example. All right, the client got 5 inquiries. We don't know if they're attached or not, so we have to view the credit report to see. All right, then utilization. So the credit utilization is very, very, very important. So if this client credit utilization was 30% and higher, then you need to be telling that client they need to get that utilization down. They need to be getting that utilization down because it's hurting their credit score. All right, so if a client got this is 0 here, 0, 0, 0 across the board, you need to tell that client you need to immediately send them credit building products. And I'm going to show you how I do it within my company. You need to immediately send the client credit building products because that can make you look like a superstar in 30 days if you go ahead and make that client add a secured credit card or something, or you add it as an authorized use to a family member card that they can stay on probably forever. Then that client gonna go up on each credit reporting agency. They gonna go up at least 70 to 100 points or more because they don't even have this mix. They need this mix. This is a revolving mix. They need that. They need revolving and installment, but they missing out big time on this utilization. And I know that they don't have a credit card because it's not even factored in here. And if they did have credit cards already, it'll show the credit card limits. So that's how I know that they don't have it and they missing out on all these points. All right, you can go down if you want to. You can look and stuff like that. Just look at the credit utilization and other things. All right, so once that's done, you go to, after sharing audio, you go to next. You go to re-import credit report. Typically, it'll show you the credit report already, but the examples be going back and forth because CRC didn't update the examples. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and go here. All right, so you will see this screen right here. You will see this screen. So this is typically what your VA will be looking at. All right, so you want to make sure the client name is good across the board. So my client is named sample client, but if it was sample client junior or client sample junior, that'll be wrong. So we'll make sure it's the same across all boards. All right, date of birth good. If it was wrong, we'll tag it. If the name was wrong, we'll tag it. The address they got on here 427 East Main. Then they got 90028 427 East Main. So you want to make sure the address is the same as the proof of address that you got. So if it's 427 East Main Street, apartment 11, you want to keep that. But if it's over here, you see 90028 427 East Main Street, that is negative and inaccurate. It should always be the same across the board. So you will want to tag that and try to get that off. All right, credit inquiries, the client got 4. So typically what you normally would do is look at what they got, what date it was, and then simply go down to the accounts that the client got and see if it's attached to that open account or not. So you'll be able to tell like the date open and stuff, it say around 2013, the account name and stuff like that. So basically you'll be able to tell if the client inquiry attached to any open accounts. All right, so you'll go down. So now this is a public record. So you can do it how you want. Typically, our first round, we sending the 15 USC 1681 EB letter, which is the maximum possible accuracy. And the reason why we send that letter because we build an investigation. We tell the credit reporting agencies these accounts are already inaccurate. They're not 100% accurate. So that's why we send this letter. You need to remove from my client's credit report. All right. So typically for this bankruptcy, we're gonna put. We normally use the privacy law for the bankruptcy first, but of course we got other reasons and instructions that we can use as well. All right. So I have so many here. So we will use the we'll use the privacy one. Oh, I have so many. Give me just a second. All right, right here. I have it here. All right, so this account is in violation on the 15 USC Code 168184, consumer right to privacy. This bankruptcy shouldn't be on my credit report. All right, and for my instruction, I'm always using as a consumer by law, this account must be deleted immediately. All right, or you can use as a consumer. As a consumer, I have a right to privacy. By law, this account must be deleted immediately. Just for like your public records. All right, you can do the same thing across the board with the public records. You can do the same thing across the board. All right, so come down here to the collections. Come down here to the collection, right? So this is Midland Fund. I know this is a collection company. So what you can do, you can go ahead and do your drop down, which is show more details, and you can go and just look and see if the count is inaccurate across the two credit report agents that you see, or the three, and you can actually just look at it and make sure for yourself, so you can ensure yourself that, okay, if it's not accurate anyway, we're gonna go ahead and challenge it on the accuracy versus doing our hard factual dispute. All right, so look like everything is adding up across here, but if anything was inaccurate, that'll give you confidence to let you know, like, man, this account inaccurate anyway, so I can go ahead and challenge it. So for this one, you would typically use any reason that you see on the sheet that I gave you, or you can add whatever you can or what you want to it. All right, so this is debt collector sold. Typically, we'll use something like um, misleading, false reporting, 1692J. Is debt collector in violation, C's and deceased. We use stuff like that. If it was medical, we use the 1681A3. This medical collection is in violation, can be reported. 1692G, which is debt validation. We can use that. Pretty much you can use a lot of stuff when it comes down to debt collectors. All right. All right, so we normally, like I said, we normally use on the first round, we normally go with the 100% maximum possible accuracy, so we can have that for our down the line for our investigation, if we have to take legal action for our client, or if our clients have to take legal action. All right, so that reason would be right here. All right, under 15 USC Code 1681EB and 15 USC Code 1681AI, this account is in violation, not reporting 100% accurate. So we let them know, okay, it's not inaccurate, it's not accurate at all. So we challenge it on the accuracy of the first round, because some of these things we do on the first round, when it comes to the accuracy, we're able to just go ahead and get it off versus, trying to go so hard anyway, and it's gonna come off no matter what. If they get it and process it right, and they know that it's not accurate. All right, then we'll just go to, as a consumer by law, this account must be deleted immediately. We'll go down. Most of these accounts that's in white, it's not negative, most of them. We got right here, we got a U.S. Department of Education. It's saying place for collection. So basically, you can do the same thing with this as well, with the EB, or whatever you see on the list that I gave you. Like I said, everybody will not have the same dispute flow, but this is how we normally fire off. All right, let's go down to it. And we'll do the same thing for the other ones as well. I know a lot of people say, okay, well, what if you put the same thing on all the account? It's not necessary about that, but guess what? That certain law, if you feel like they violating that certain law, you can put that for that account. It really doesn't matter. And you'll do the same thing on so forth and so on. All All right, so basically I'm just going to click some so we can go ahead and move through. All right, you hit save my work. Or your VA, if your VA working on it, hit save my work. All right, so once you finish, everything will pop up, let you know what you tagged, what you didn't tag, what's positive, what negative. All right, so now what you want to do is you want to go to dispute wizard. So after you identify what dispute method you're gonna take, if you're gonna factual dispute it, you're gonna law dispute it, you're gonna do basic dispute and just shooting out there saying validate, something like that, what we don't recommend because they're already saying that they validate the items once they put it on your credit report. So we're not telling the credit reporting agencies to validate certain items. All right, so you'll go to create dispute letters. Now, all your dispute letters should be uploaded to your CRC. So like I said, once you make your custom letters or the letters that I gave you, you put them in CRC and then you kind of build your way around them, put what you want, take out things that you want, stuff like that. They should be directly in your system. And you do that by going to my library and put them embedded in your system. All right, so you'll go to always round two or how you can win because round one is the basic dispute, and that's what CRC already have in their system. So what we're doing, we're gonna go to round two. We're gonna go to previously saved pending items, and we're gonna basically select the items, all the items that we are challenging. You can select how many items that you want. Typically with the bankruptcies, I don't even put them in there with the first round letters. I do the bankruptcy separate. I'll just show you the process we take for that. All right, so I tag all my items with my personal information and everything. We'll do all of that. Then we'll hit continue. Because like I said in the 1681 EB letter, what you're saying, if the items is not 100% maximum accurate, you saying that about the names, the addresses, and all of that. So you can add all of that in the same letter for your first round. Most people use 609. I call this my 609 letter, but of course it's the law, so it's the maximum possible accuracy law. You can go to choose your letter, and mine's under which is USC, United States Code, and then it'll be my first round. So my VAs know what to do: first round, second round, third round, fourth round, demand and comply. And they got, like I said, they got other letters as well in here that we can just use depending on what we see on the report. All right, so we'll do the first round. We'll go to next. And then look, the letter pop up. Everything will generate the client information, the credit report agency, the date, the letter pop up like this, all the items in the letter. Bam. So we'll be good to go. So what you want to do, I backdate mine. I backdate all mine either 30 days or 14 days. So with this, most time we'll just put a 7 in front of the 8. So we backdating 30 days on this one. All right. So once you do that, you kind of complete. You kind of done with those items. But like I said, my bankruptcy is a different process, so I'm not even putting my bankruptcy in here. But if I want to put my bankruptcy in here, I can do that, and I can say the same thing. It's not reporting 100% accurate because typically on the bankruptcy side, they're going to say the courts reported it and they did not report it. So the furnisher is the person who reported, and the courts is not the furnisher who reported the item. All right, so you'll go to save letters, and you'll put in your letter name, round. It'll be round 1 letter. It'll just be round 1 letter, or whatever you want to call it. Or you can put round 1 here, round 1, 2, 3, abbreviations and stuff like that. I don't use that. And then I set my task for 35 days. So we give it at least 5 to 7 days to get to the credit reporting agencies. And from there, we give them that 30 day window. So we update all our clients in 35 days. So I just hit save all 3 letters. And after that, you're pretty much good to go. You can go back to the dashboard. And once you say the letters, it's going to pop up in your batch print. You see it was $297 at first. Now it's $300. All right, so for the next set of letters, you go back to Dispute Wizard. It's going to be for your bank. If you got a bankruptcy, create dispute letters. It's going to be your round 2 or higher. And I'm going to just select the bankruptcies on this one. Bankruptcy, go to continue. And I already got my bankruptcy letter in here. So I'm gonna go to library, USC. Actually, it's on the BK and child support letter. So I got the bankruptcy, I got the bankruptcy and child support letter, first attempt, second attempt, the courthouse letter, and the LexisNexis letter that we disputing with. So first of all, we're gonna do the credit bureaus, the credit reporting agency. We're gonna go to first attempt, go to next, and it should populate. All right, so it popped up. So it got the Equifax on there. It got the agency violated the rights, the privacy rights. It got all the laws in there, the neglect, the consumer have rights and everything. So I got everything in that letter. So that's a powerful letter. And what we'll do, we'll simply go ahead and backdate that as well. All right, and we'll just simply save letters. BK letter round 1. All right, hit save letters. You done just that quick with those letters. So now you done got all your items tagged and sent out for your letters. You got your bankruptcy for the credit reporting agencies. So now you got to go back and do it for the court, and you got to do it for LexisNexis. So dealing with bankruptcy is a whole process. It's a whole different monster. That's why we charge extra for these public records. So now we're going to go back and I'm going to do LexisNexis. So when I'm doing LexisNexis and I'm doing the courts, all I have to do is tag one bankruptcy. That's it, because I don't need to tag all three. I just tag one, and it's going to pop up anyway on that certain letter, because LexisNexis and the courthouse addresses is not directly in the system. I already generate them and put them on a letter to send out. But for your courts, you need to look on the credit report and find that address. Or you can go to Google, find that courthouse address. I'm going to go to continue, new letter, bankruptcy, courthouse, bam. So for the courthouse one, it's going to have the bankruptcy case number going to be here, and it's going to tell you everything. So with this, you don't even have to worry about backdating, just a courthouse letter. So basically telling them, I was told from all three credit report agents that you got to report bankruptcy, and you don't. So basically it's telling them that. And then, of course, the client, you want to put the client's signature here in your system, so it can be signed. And once it's sent, they'll respond back. Just hit save letters and put in, your courthouse letter round 1. Hit save. Bam, you're good to go for that. Go back to your dispute wizard. Create another letter. You send the next one to LexisNexis. Round 2, save / pending items. You want to only tag one. Continue. Choose letter. It's going to be BK and child support in my system. And then it's going to be LexisNexis dispute letter first attempt. So that's our first attempt. And it's about the same letter as we sent into the credit report agency, the big 3. All right. And it's going to come up just like that. It's going to be going to LexisNexis right here. You save letters. Put in what you want to put in. Round 1, bam, you done. So basically, that client would typically be done for the first round, and then you just have to update that client in 35 days. So once you send all them letters out, the client is going to get an email. With my system, they get an email, phone call, text message. But for your system, until you get your automation set up, they just might get the email, and that's still good enough to let them know that you sent the letters off, and it tell them that they have 30 to 45 days to respond. All right, and I just noticed I didn't show you guys how to freeze, that's super easy. And the reason why I didn't show y'all because I don't really have to freeze because the laws are supposed to work in your favor, so I really don't have to freeze anything. But before you start any client, go ahead and freeze for you all who's starting off anyway, or just want to freeze. But my VAs do freeze. But of course, when I'm working on your stuff, I don't really freeze because I know the laws and stuff, and I just know how to maneuver around. So you'll freeze. You'll go to LexisNexis. You'll go ahead and freeze them. And LexisNexis, once you freeze LexisNexis, it's going to go for LexisNexis and SageStream. All right. The next one, you're going to do ARS. Add security freeze. and you're gonna go ahead and freeze the ARS with the client personal information. That's why I told you guys you must get the full Social Security copy of the Social Security card, because you're gonna need a full number to do most of these freezes. All right. Next one, you're gonna do Innovis. You're gonna do the same thing, request a security freeze and fill out the information, Social Security number and all that, address, and submit the freeze. And then after that, you'll be done with your security freeze, because CoreLogic, since I think like August the 1st, don't mistake me, I think August or January, no, August or July the 1st, they decided that they wasn't doing any more security freezes, that they no longer do that at CoreLogic. So you don't have to worry about freezing CoreLogic anymore, because they saying they not letting people access those reports. But I think it's something more to that. All right, so that's gonna be it for your how to start a client, onboard a client, up until you sending the client's letters out, right? So like I said, if you was factual disputing, you'll just pull up a credit report. And by pulling up the credit report, you can go to client save reports right here on the right hand side. And you can go to the latest reports you pulled. This is a sample, so we pulled this on August 26th. We can go to download. We can pull that report up. And we can just go down and look. We can go down and look at these accounts. And like I said, across the board, we can compare them. See if anything off. And like I said, the account number as well too. So you can dispute the account. You can dispute all accounts on the account number. And as you can see, no account numbers is all the way typed out. So that's, that typically that's inaccurate reporting. That's incomplete reporting. So you can raise hell just by doing that. All right, so you can do that. All right, so that's how you pulled up a credit report from the system, within the system. All right, so, and once my VAs finish that, since I got the 30-day CRA out, like I said, we don't have to print the letters out and stuff and send them like that. We just go straight to our batch print, and the client letters are pulled up right here. All we got to do is click the one we want to send, and they're gonna send off. Just like, for instance, the client right here, this client Richard, all we got to do is today, my VAs did this today, so we just got to go to click the client name. I already seen what type of letters these were. We can just click the client. I'm just send one. So we just click the client name, go to print with 30 CRA, and I can either do certified or standard. If I do certified, I can do it with the electronic return receipt, and I can do the don't send identity documents. So typically after round 1, we don't have to send identity documents unless we get to a round where if your method is to use the FTC, or if the client know that they had identity theft, if you want to add those documents, you would need to do it certified and add additional documents to it. All right, so with him, we're just gonna do the standard, no identity document, because he's about done. He only got like one item left, and just go to start printing. All right, and he basically good to go. So that's the setting. I can click on the job link, and I can go and see exactly the letter that's going out. So that's how easy it is from start to finish for my VAs, processing the client to us sending the letters out. Like, it's so easy. So easy. All right, so that's it for this section on how to onboard and process a client, from start to finish. And I'm gonna give you, what? Let me stop and go ahead and give you guys the game on how we will update the client. So typically on update day, once we hit the client import and audit, we'll do that. We'll click re-import as long as their identity IQ information adding up. But if you have smart credit, you'll have to go and update the report on smart credit first, then come back here. So on the update date, 35 days later, my VAs go back in. So once we do the re-import, we'll be able to see how many items were deleted, updated the deposit, updated the net, added new scores and everything. Typically, what you want to do is hit download summary. Your VAs will need to hit download summary. And once they hit download summary, they can go to continue and they can retag the items on whatever round y'all in. Like if we're doing round 2, that's my method of verification. So basically I'll tag is in here right here. I'll tag 15 USC 1681 I-7 method of verification. This account is in violation. It was reported without valid evidence. So I typically do that for all my accounts. Beside the bankruptcy, I keep fighting with the bankruptcy. But for this, we'll do the method of verification if it hasn't came off. And also, I did miss a step, my bad. So doing that first round as well, you want to make sure your VAs and you are sending debt collector letters. So let me go back to the dispute wizard. All right, so to send a debt collector letter, all I got to do is go to create dispute, create dispute letters, go to round 2, say pending, be back. You go to round 2, and instead of credit bureau, you're going to select creditor/furnisher. You're going to go to previously saved pending items. And then you're going to go down to the debt collectors that you're trying to dispute with. I see Midland Funding. I'm gonna just say First Premier one, just an example. And then we'll go to choose letter. We'll go to, it should be under USC. Let's see. It's not under my USC. It's under my collection letters, and it's I call it round 5 custom. Go to next, and then Midland Funding popped up, right? See Midland Funding? Debt collector letter popped up, and it's going to say everything that we needed to say. All right, so typically what you got to do is go back to the credit report that I showed you guys how to download it. Make sure you had a credit report pulled up, and then you just go back and you get the address for Midland Funding on the credit report because it should be there, and you add the address here. You add the address there, make sure the address is on there, and then once you hit save, you should be good to go. But we typically backdate it again. Put 7. We make sure no signature on the letter because once we put it in, we don't put the signature part. We go to the next debt collector letter. We put the address on there from the credit report. We backdate it again about 14 to 30 days, and we good to go. So we just hit save. So when we hit save letter, we'll put in debt collector round 1 or however you want to list it, and we'll hit save. Save all 2 letters. So both of those 2 letters will be saved. What we'll typically do, go back up here, because we typically I send them letters from home because it's easy. That's the only thing I do within the company other than if I work with somebody personally. So the thing about it with the debt collector, when you send the letters out with debt collector, you'll select the debt collectors. You'll go to print with 30-day CRA if you're using that, but if not, if you use some other letter stream or something. And what you want to do, you want to always select don't send identity documents. So once we send in items to the debt collectors, we never, ever, ever want to send identity documents. And then as you can see on the letter, I'm going to show you a sample of the letter again. Guess what? You see the sample client name, you see their address, and that's it. You don't see no social security card, no social security number, no date of birth, or none of that. All right, so you don't see none of that. So that's the thing about it. When you're dealing with the debt collector, you want to get them less information as possible and no documents, no signatures or nothing like that because they have been fraudulent in the past by trying to take signatures off documents and use it against consumers. All right, so typically that'll be my first round for my clients. So my clients get debt collector letters, so they get all the debt collector letters going to the debt collectors. They don't get letter going to the credit reporting agencies. If they got bankruptcy, they get letter going to the courts, the bankruptcy courts, They get letters going to the credit reporting agency for bankruptcies, and they get letters going to the secondary, which is LexisNexis, for the bankruptcy. So we hitting up everybody dealing with those bankruptcies, and then we do a lot of disputing. Like I said, the first round. That's typically, like I said, be my first round. Then the second round or third round, you can hit it off how you want to. And then, in your 14 days or whatever, you still can do your CFPB complaint if you want to. And I'm going to show you guys how to do CFPB complaints and stuff as well. All right, so that'll be the end of this video right here. So if you guys still need any help, you let me know, you reach out.